That's crazy. I never had that happen before. All right, guys, so time to figure out what the heck is going on with the Evo. So if you didn't watch my previous episode, I took the Evo out to the track with the new brakes, with the new tires, the wheels, the rear diff, and all that, and was hoping that it was gonna be everything amazing. But unfortunately, immediately hit problems, and the car started running lean. So I looked at everything, couldn't figure it out. I did end up running a whole session kind of like that, and where it got worse and worse and worse, and I didn't realize until the very end. So I changed the spark plugs on track, and that did make it run better, but it was still running really lean. So I decided to make the trek from Homestead, Miami, all the way up to like northern Miami to Nippon Power. Luckily they were open on Saturday, and I bought 2 fuel pumps and like a wrench and stuff like that, and I went all the way back to the track. So that took me like almost 3 hours to go and do that and come back. So, and then I tore into the tank trunk. I replaced the in-tank pump, okay. Nothing, you know, it didn't solve anything. So I'm like, fuck, what now? So then I changed the surge tank pump, and then still nothing. So I ended up basically, I had no other option. The car was running great, other than when I went into boost, going past like 6,500 or 7,000, it would get really lean. So I ended up going into tune, and I added a fuckload of fuel, and I mean a buttload. I added a ton of fuel, like more fuel that you would see on a stock map, okay? Just to get it to be somewhat okay. And even like that, I had to short shift, and I had to drop the boost all the way down to like 20 pounds. So obviously, you know, not ideal, not the way I wanted to run the car, but at least I was able to get another session in. So, you know, long story short, very frustrating, right? So at this point, I still don't know what's wrong with the car. You know, I'm still thinking it's something to do with the fuel system. Again, there's nothing really going on that visible that you could see that, you know, and then it idles and drives fine. There's no check engine lights or anything like that. So I'm thinking either a fuel system, still something with the fuel system. My buddy Marlon suggested that I take out the fuel filter. Okay, check out the fuel filter. This does have the radium inline fuel filter. So I am gonna be doing that. I'm gonna be looking at pinch lines. I don't know if maybe a rock kicked up and pinch one of the fuel lines. So I'm gonna be looking at that. I know I don't have any leaks. There's nothing on the ground. There's no smell of ED5 or anything like that from any leaks. So I doubt it's a leak. Okay, the other thing that I'm thinking, maybe the MAF. I did go back to the MAF on this car, and it wasn't an original MAF. I bought it from somebody on Facebook Marketplace. It did look pretty good, you know, but maybe that's something that's wrong with that, and for some reason the car won't throw a check engine light. I'm gonna try a MAF-less tune, okay, and see if that solves it. And hopefully one of these things, let's figure it out. So anyways, let's dive into it. You guys know I can ramble, but let's get to work. Okay, so after digging out the track, I changed both pumps, the intake pump, the surge tank pump. Couldn't figure out what it is. I looked at everything else. I tried different tunes. I tried a MAF-less tune, or like a speed density tune, thinking that maybe the MAF went bad. There's no check engine lights. There's nothing disconnected. You know, the car runs great up until, you know, 7,000 RPM, and then it starts to lean out. So next logic is, I looked at all the fuel lines. Maybe I had a pinch fuel line, nothing. But look at the fuel filter. This thing is black for some reason. I have been running pump gas quite a bit on this, so maybe there was a bunch of deposits that the pump gas started to clean out. So let me clean this out and see what it looks like. Okay, yeah, so this thing definitely was dirty as crap. I'm not sure why. It's just still kind of dirty. So this is obviously a radium part. This is the 10 micron stainless steel filter. And honestly, I think that this thing might have saved me a lot more headaches than what it caused. So I'm guessing that this thing was so clogged, because look, all this black stuff wasn't here. So if all that stuff had gone to my injectors, it would have been a lot of issues, obviously, you know what I mean? It did end up running lean, but, you know, luckily I was able to catch it on time. I'm not sure where all this stuff came from, guys, because, like, you know, I know the car sat for a long time, and it probably had, like, you know, bad gas in it at that point or whatever. I don't even remember if it was E85 or gasoline that was in here, but You know, when I put the in-tank fuel pump and I even opened the other side of the tank, nothing really bad looked in, like the tank looks fine, you know, inside. So I'm not really sure where all this junk came from. I did go a couple of weeks ago before I worked on the oil pan. I did go to a gas station, and it was an E85 gas station, and it took forever for it to come out. Maybe I got bad gas and somehow I made all this junk, or maybe it was pumping all this junk that was at the bottom of the tank. Who the fuck knows? So a replacement filter for this from Radium, okay, so it's like 70 bucks plus shipping and tax and blah, 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 blah. But they say that you can clean this with an ultrasonic cleaner. So doing some dude math here, I got me an ultrasonic cleaner because why not? I can use this for other things. You just can clean injectors, can clean parts and things like that. So hopefully it'll come in handy and hopefully it'll pay for itself. Dude math. All right, so let me throw some of this stuff in there and see how this works. All right, well, I forgot to film the filter after I got it out, but it definitely did work, guys. So look at this fluid here. This started as like a bright green, almost as if like a radiator fluid, like a coolant. Like, so this is the actual color that it kind of started. It was diluted because you do a 5-to-1 mixture. Okay, but now look at this. Okay, so another thing that I wanted to show you guys. So yeah, all this stuff was in that filter. So yeah, something definitely was up, man. I must have gotten really bad gas or something. But yeah, I was dumping that into here, and then all of a sudden I saw all this stuff. So definitely, this thing definitely works, guys. It paid for itself. Okay, have a little bit of a clearing here. You won't be able to see this because I know it. Anyways, let's see. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. She pulls clean now. Yes. Nice. She pulls clean, man. There we go. So yeah, definitely, man. Never had a fuel filter take me out like that, man. That's definitely a new one. So now I know I gotta keep an eye on that. But yeah, I guess I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that. You know, like the stock cars don't have an external fuel filter like that, unless it's like a diesel. You know, they just have the fuel pump. You know, like pre-filter or sock or whatever. You know, and I have two of those, right? So I have one pump in the tank with a filter, and then another pump in the surge tank with its own filter. So I was told that all that black stuff was probably from one or both of the pumps going out. So I'm not really sure if the pre-filters would have caught that, you know, but definitely this stainless steel 10 micron filter was completely clogged. So I'm gonna have to assume that if that had gone to the injectors, it could have been worse, you know, like, so I don't know. So this whole thing really points as to why these cars really benefit, or what the benefit of a standalone ECU would be. That, you know, if I had a standalone ECU, I wouldn't have to be watching, you know, the air fuel ratio gauge to make sure that it's not running lean and stuff like that, you know. And because the car had never run lean, I just, you know, it just wasn't something that I was worried about, you know. I know that on the Evo 10s, on the stock ECU, you can hook up a like an analog output from a wideband to the ECU and do a safety thing like that. I'm not sure if it's possible on this. This car is on a V7, on a Tetra V7, so I'm gonna look into that because I honestly don't want to go standalone. The car runs and drives so good, and I don't want to overbuild this car, guys. So yeah. Anyways, keep an eye on those fuel filters, those external fuel filters, and definitely the Radium one definitely works, man. That thing definitely caught all that stuff for sure. All right, man. Well, at the end, I'm glad I figured it out. It sucks that it was, you know, I couldn't get it solved at the track day. It really ruined the track day, and that's kind of what happens, guys, when you modify these cars, and when you modify cars in general. You know, unfortunately, reliability goes down. You know what I mean? I've really tried to do everything as best as I could with the best parts, you know, and you know, there's still issues, guys. You know what I mean? So imagine if you just took this car to a shop, you know, and you know, their business, you know, they're just a business. They're trying to get the car in and out. They're not gonna spend the amount of time that you would spend on the car. You know, I spent so many hours on this car, man, just going through everything, absolutely everything. You know, I guess the fuel filter did serve its purpose. You know, it caught everything. I was told by a buddy of mine that does a lot of Evos and stuff like that, that he's seen the wall bros sometimes go out, and they put out like that black powdery stuff. So I am kind of glad that it did end up working out, that I changed both pumps. So it's got two brand new pumps, the in tank and the surge tank. I cleaned the fuel filters, those, you know, the pump fuel filters, and obviously now, you know, I cleaned the inline fuel filter. So I think I'm gonna drive it around, and maybe in 3,000 miles or so, pull it back out and clean it again, just to make sure that there's no residual, you know, stuff in the fuel system and stuff like that. But yeah, so other than that, guys, the car's gonna go back into street mode. It's gonna get a nice wash. I'm gonna put the street pads back on, and I'm not sure what the next video will be with the Evo. I am gonna take it to Cars and Coffee, but my channel's not really about that. I may do a little bit of filming on that, but it's really just gonna be a chill day with me and my son, just to kind of go and hang out and show the car a little bit, you know. And the next episode, we're gonna be taking the Blue Beast out. I'm super excited. We're gonna go to Sebring at night, guys. So that's gonna be super epic. So definitely stay tuned for that if you're into the track and Corvette content. All right. So anyways, guys, thank you for watching. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.